After almost a year of rumors and speculation, the $1,000 Death Star has been revealed. The largest LEGO Star Wars set ever made by piece count, by minifigure count, and price. This releases October 1st with 9,021 pieces and 38 minifigures. And yeah, I can't think of any other LEGO sets that retail for $1,000. It looks to be a similar size to the 2017 UCS Falcon if you laid it on its side, but makes a completely different approach to a UCS set, focusing on interior detailing instead of an exterior shell. It almost looks like a pizza in a way, completely ditching the spherical design that the 2008 and 2016 UCS Death Stars utilized. Taking a look at those interior details starting from the bottom, we've got a trash compactor scene, which looks to be roughly half the size of the 2022 diorama. It gets to the point, and as long as you can fit all the minifigures in there, I've got no problem with it. To the right, we have the hangar bay from Return of the Jedi, where Palpatine first arrives on the Death Star 2 on the Imperial shuttle, which is also included there. The brick-built star scene, spacescape, is a really awesome effect and one of my favorite details of this set. Has a much better representation of a door leading to space than if they had just left it empty. There's plenty of room to pose minifigures to recreate the lineup scene, but it would have been nice if a few more stormtroopers were included to represent that. The set includes 6, but there are so many places where they need to be. The shuttle design looks to be pretty small, with room for a minifigure to pilot it and hopefully a spot to put Palpatine as a passenger in the back, but it's hard to tell one way or another. In one of the images of the hangar bay, we also get a look at the giveaway promo included in the set if you buy it during the first few days, a TIE fighter. Look, I'm glad that this doesn't have anything too exclusive or hard to get, so if you miss out on this promo, you could recreate it from Bricklink, but I kind of just wish they included this in the set, because, you could fit it in there along with the Imperial shuttle. The design only uses a couple of hundred pieces at most. Moving up to the middle levels, we have the hallway from A New Hope where Han gets chased by stormtroopers, complete with a mouse droid, which is a nice touch. We also got C-3PO in the control room to the right of the hangar, which represents the movie scene significantly better than either of the previous playsets did. Above is the detention block, complete with Leia's holding cell and an interrogation droid. And a hallway in the middle leads to a recreation of the scene where Obi-Wan shuts off the tractor beam, with Luke and Leia swinging above him. Cramped in the room to the right of that is Darth Vader's meditation chamber, which is a weird inclusion because in the original trilogy we only see this chamber on the Executor, not the Death Star. Everything else in this set is strictly movie-based with one exception, which we'll get to. Above the meditation chamber is a conference room, which is a much more complete design from the previous play sets and includes more of the high-ranking officials to populate it this time, although a few are still missing. Towards the top, we have the super laser control room, again looking much more complete and detailed than what we had before. There even seems to be a separate room up top where a Death Star trooper can look on. Above that window, if you turn up the brightness on the image, you can make out a smaller room with a rubber duck piece in it, but the rest is obscured. To the right of that, we have the Emperor's Throne Room, which is a similar design to the 2023 diorama. Isn't it weird that there are 3 previous dioramas represented in this set, with the throne room, trash compactor, and meditation chamber? There's a doorway on the right side which leads to a room with a Death Star cannon in it, which you can see poking out if you look at the 360 turnaround. Speaking of the turnaround, looking at the back of this, we see a few interesting details. First, to address the Wampa in the room, this is not a finished design on the back. You're clearly intended to have this against a wall. There's not much effort to cover up the different colors and mechanisms, but that lets us get a good look at some of the functionality of the set. First of all, the elevator looks to be fully functional using some of those warm gear pieces introduced a few years ago. You can also spin around the display screen in the turbo laser control room, which seems to be a smoother version of that feature from the older versions. The trash compactor has some gears on the back implying it can open and close, and above that there's a couple of cool Easter eggs from the LEGO Star Wars video game. I love this part. I mean, the first LEGO Star Wars video game is super nostalgic to me. There's a classic mini kit, and on the right it looks to be different colored studs representing the currency from those games, which I know Arkham had different colored studs. There are 38 minifigures included in this set, which is the most in a LEGO set ever, beating out the Avengers Tower. Plenty of them are reuses from previous sets, including R2, C-3PO, Darth Vader, Chewbacca, Emperor Palpatine, 2 Imperial Gunners, and the Stormtrooper version of Han. There are a few other figures that are slightly updated from their previous appearances, so they're exclusive for now, but I could see them being reused in future sets. On the Rebel side, we have Han with a new torso print, Obi-Wan with a new face print, Farm Boy Luke with a new face and leg print, Stormtrooper Luke and Return the Jedi Luke using the same new face print, and Leia with a new torso print. For the Imperials, The 2 royal guards have updated torso printing, the 2 crew members are both new, and one of the Navy troopers uses a new face. The shuttle pilot looks to be new, and the female Imperial officer uses an awesome recolor of that hair hat combo that were introduced for Deidre earlier this year in the U-Wing set, with the female crew member using the same color that minifigure had. The rest of the figures are either completely new or ones we haven't gotten in a while. We have 2 Imperial droids, the Astromech R3T6 and the Protocol droid 5D6RA7, both of which are characters we've never gotten before. There's also the Imperial Dignitary, a deep cut character from Return of the Jedi who's seen for like 2 seconds getting off an Imperial shuttle behind the Emperor when he first arrives on the Death Star. Grand Moff Tarkin is also back after 9 years. Last time we saw him was actually in the 2016 Death Star playset. Yularen gets an updated version from the May the 4th polybag from way back in 2015. We did just get that Clone Wars version of him for the Venator 2 years ago, but an updated Imperial version will get people excited, especially after this recent appearance in Andor. We also get General Tague and Admiral Moti, I probably said both of their names wrong, to fill out the conference room, 2 characters we've never seen before. I saved the 3 most exciting minifigures in this set for last though. We're finally getting new Rogue One figures with Galen Erso and an updated Orson Krennic, who fit on a display stand separate from the main build, which is a great inclusion. And finally we have the Hot Tub Stormtrooper, a reference to the LEGO Star Wars video games. He does look a little different here, but it definitely gets the point across with some awesome dual molded legs, and like I mentioned before, a secret spot to hide him away in the build that hasn't really been shown by any marketing materials. So looking at the full package, I just don't see $1,000 worth of value here, unfortunately. Sure, it's an absolutely massive play set with plenty of minifigures, but I think about everything else you could buy for that money, even specific to the world of LEGO, it makes the value feel like it's not justified. Like if you're a modular collector, you could get the Tudor Corner, the History Museum, the Boutique Hotel, and the Jazz Club and still have money to spare. Sure, price to piece isn't everything, but that's 13,245 pieces and 30 minifigures between those 4 sets versus 9,021 pieces and 38 figures in the Death Star. Compared to other sets in the Star Wars theme, it doesn't feel that bad. The sail barge from last year definitely felt like a bigger markup, but Star Wars as a theme in general is in such a bad spot for pricing right now, in my opinion. But hey, maybe I'm crazy here. Let me know in the comments if any of you plan on picking this setup when it comes out on October 1st. Do you see the pizza allegations? Do you think that LEGO Star Wars is getting too expensive? Subscribe here for more honest LEGO takes. Seriously, you liking, commenting, and subscribing helps so much with the channel and the rough algorithm, and I'll see you later. Peace out.